Hey guys, I'm going to nuke coffee and then I'll be right back. That's good. Had the loop on. All right, so we're kind of good. We seem good. All right, we're good. Let's do it. Let's move this over here. Let's shrink you down. And let's use this chart. I think we're better off using this chart. Oh boy, that's a lot. I apologize. That's way too much of me in the morning. Hold on. There we go. Boom. Got. Oh, still too much. Hold on. There we go. Let's start with Spotify. So interestingly enough, I got asked a question in the room. I had computer issues today. I know, shocker, but that's why I'm super late. I recorded this whole private pre-market thing, and then the things like it just shut down. I hate Windows with a passion. I really do. But I need it. So if you take a look at Spotify, I thought it was a really good report. You're sitting on a key support level. I think you can hold here. I would just watch this level really closely. This does have a habit of doing things like this, Spotify. So you might just want to watch this one today. That's okay. We're kind of bright, a little too bright, maybe, I think, but it is what it is for now. But you want to watch this level like super close, like super close. You know, you do have a habit of this, like falling apart and then running like you did here. Like, oh, okay, no, it's bad. Oh, it's so bad. It's the worst. And then, you know, a couple days later, you're up and you never got this price again. And you might never get that price again. And you have these moves. Sometimes it goes up and then comes like, it's just all over the place. What I have found with this name more than anything, even on these breaks up or down, is it's just constantly going higher. So if you're, ever since they got rid of like the Harry, Meghan Markle show and stopped throwing billions at people to put out, podcasts. So I think looking at it, you probably do have a shot at holding that level. So, you just might want to watch that level right there. I think it's like 652 or something. You just might want to pay attention to it if you're interested in that. I will get to some names because I know that you guys are mostly interested in the names that are out there. For me, I thought SoFi was pretty good. I really hard to see like the flaw in it, right? Revenue's up a lot. Earnings are up a lot. They're kind of killing it, and they've been killing it since this quarter. So I don't really know that there's much to say here about it. I think they've done fairly well with themselves. I don't know that I want to pay up for it. I mean, what are we going to earn? Like, let's say you earn 40 cents. Okay. If I earn 40 cents on the year, which, you're not going to, but if I earn 40 cents on the year, I'm just taking this and adding 20% to it, right? So like 20% quarter versus quarter growth, what am I going to earn? 40 cents. All right. 40 times 4, 40. Okay. 40 cents. All right. I'm trading. That puts me at what? 50 times next year's earnings. Like, it's a lot for a regional. I don't trade off that, but you have to realize the risk that's associated with that when you're rushing into these names. So especially like a bank. So it makes me want to kind of like, let's just see how it acts. I don't need to be first in. You go first. I think that's super important for some of this stuff that's playing out. PayPal, I know a lot of people are talking about it. It's not acting well on it, so I don't know why you would rush into it. There's some stuff here where they really just should be focused on. I actually think PayPal should really focus on just competing and trying to figure out how to compete with Stripe, and stop all the other nonsense. I really do. I remember when these guys were trying to get you to, if you said the wrong thing, they were going to ding your account. If they didn't like your speech, they were going to take money out of your account. Like, just compete with Stripe, got that way. And they seem to be a little lost here on what they're trying to do. I don't know. I don't know that you would have to like really rush into this. I don't really know what the reasoning would be to rush into something like that. And, what else do I really want to go over? I want to go over the whole dollar thing. I think that's important. Let's go take a look at the ES for a second and get into, where we're at here and how you should be looking at this. I personally think that, from where you started on Sunday night, coming all the way back down, right, to here on Monday, which was actually a much further move than I thought you were going to come from 230 on. It was just straight what? That's institutional, man. Like, retail's buying, institutions are selling. Like that last hour, and then they just kind of kicked in, didn't they? That last half hour. So you got a real pickle on your hands, but you're coming right back to that Sunday level and you're not breaking it. So I personally think that you still have so much risk between itchy tomorrow and what you see going on out there with earnings, that people are like, do I really want to get involved? And I'm not sure the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes in certain aspects that make sense for people, but I'm not sure right now it makes sense for everybody. So for me, I think it truly boils down to, hey, let's see how it plays out, and then we'll go from there. That's really where my head is with it. If I'm going to just screenshot this really quickly, but if I think about it from that perspective, I think it makes a lot more sense. Hold on 1 second here. Yep. So I think if you look at it from that perspective, it makes a lot more sense. So I don't know that you have to rush into it. I do think money is flowing into certain sectors. I do think tech's going higher. And I think it's going to go higher because of what we're seeing with these trade deals. And we should probably talk about that a little bit before, because I can add value there, I think. I know I can add value there. But you see the difference in the tape between looking at Sunday on the NQ and looking at it on the ES, like you see the difference, okay? See how you held right in here on that Friday level, right? See how Sunday you're up and you're holding these levels, where it's very different when we look at the ES, isn't it? And the reason for that is because you have increased Capex spending. Now, I'm not saying you're not getting that in other areas. You are. Hands down, you're getting that in other areas. But you're getting it in the, so like you're getting it in like the BA, for example, right? I know Kev's going to be like all over me today, BA. But, you know, like 243 right in here, you should see, you see our level. I think there's something to that, man. I do. I think there's really something to our levels. And I think that that's something that we really have to pay attention to. I do. I think that's something you really have to pay attention to. And I really think looking at it, that might be it. You know, you might be able to get through it, but you have to think like, if you've been in this since 24 and you're in it this high, like just think about it for a second. Like, okay, so I bought in 21 and then I went through all this and then I broke even, and like, just think about it. Like if you were in this thing like this, well, I didn't sell in 21. I said, when it gets back to break even, I'd sell. And then it got back to break even and I didn't sell. And then it went up and I stayed in, and then it broke. And I said, when it gets back to break even, I said, like, I'm out. Like you get to a point with these things where people start to think that way. I'd be gone. Well, I never would have put myself through that. But I think that that's the kind of stuff you want to watch. Now, if you go and take a look at those levels, specifically that close from here, you know, that's 248, 249, but you also have this right here. So when you get rid of that one for a second, we'll just drop that bad boy down here for a second and look at that this morning. Like it's crazy how exact it was. I mean, it's really freaking impressive how exact that was, right? So I think that stuff like this you have to watch, and I think you have to be super careful of. And that's where my head would go with it. What do you got, John? I'll post the link for the private one. Yep, you got it. And let's do that now while we're thinking about it, because I'm super behind this morning. So this would be the one that I would need. Give me a second. Super behind. Okay, cool. So let's take questions, because you guys are probably going to have a lot of questions. What's up, Kev? There he is. Yep. That's it. That's your entire world right there. Just went through it. When are those IPOs coming? So we probably should talk about, so this EV/LV I've been watching. I know a lot of you guys are trading this. It is what it is. Like you can try it. Like I don't know, guys. Like I don't know what earnings are going to be. I don't have a clue. Like I don't know how you guys are playing these things. So you're playing them like long term, or it is what it is. It's like a little technology company that could, and it's been ripping everyone's face off. Maybe it continues, maybe it doesn't. You know, I've been playing a lot of these little names lately, and to me, they're like little lottos. Like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I really think the way to look at it is for me, is the way to kind of figure out the risk and then the reward of it. So that's how I kind of look at these names. So like when something like BMNR, right? You know, this guy comes out and he's like, oh, the NAV is 22. I don't know how he's getting there. I don't know how that math is math and when I did it, but so like, let's say BMR comes down to 22. Do I really want to get involved? You know, maybe, but do I want to buy it here? No, they keep doing secondaries. They keep being dilutive. So like being a treasury that doesn't have the ability to issue a convertible is the equivalent of an ETF. So why would I ever pay more for it, right? So the same thing, like it just doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. So that's why they'll keep buying it. Like when people are like, well, why is Kathy buying it? She just has pretty much unlimited capital. She'll just scale into it. So when I look at something like this, like why do I have to buy it? Right? It's the same process, whether it's BMNR or like, why do I have to be in this? I don't really have an answer to that. I don't know enough. Like, you're probably going to know more about it than I am. So I can't really answer that, Julian. I don't know when those IPOs are coming. I do think that SMCI could get squeezed. I actually like the fact that it's down. I have a position in it, just FYI. I actually do like the fact that it's down and not bidding up this morning. I really do like that a lot. If I look at the dollar, to me, you have bottomed. Hands down, the dollar's bottomed. Yeah. After that deal, there's no doubt about it that the dollar is put in a bottom, hands down. And I really think that that's very important for us to understand. Very important for people to get. Does that affect Bitcoin? Does it affect gold? I don't think it's going to affect Bitcoin for a whole litany of reasons. I think Bitcoin's going a lot higher than people think it is. I think it affects gold, and I think it affects silver big time. I do like the SMCI. They could squeeze those people again today. Yeah, I think that NVIDIA is going a lot higher than people think it is. It's kind of crazy to me that people aren't doing the math there, but it's more for me. I don't know going into earnings that I would touch this thing. I mean, maybe it's going to be fantastic, but I don't know that I would touch it before earnings. I don't know enough about it, man. You're definitely breaking out. They want to own it before earnings, but I can't really add a whole heck of a lot there. Not really much for me to add. NVIDIA is not much to add. I keep buying it. I actually think you're better off waiting for the earnings call than playing it. I think the way to view, like, the one certainty that I think everybody has more than anything is going to be the one thing that I think everybody has that I think is super important is you have to think about it from this perspective. You have to think that Capex is going higher. And pardon me, that benefits chips and hardware. It doesn't really mean much. Like, when I don't know what Amazon's going to really do, I don't know what Meta's going to do, and I don't know what Microsoft's going to do. I know all Apple has to do is not be a dumpster fire, right? But if you take a look at Google, like, what did Google really do since earnings? Like, here's earnings, crushed. It was really good, really good. Like, it was really good. Like, all metrics are really good. This is where I was the day before. Right? I'm trying to hold where I was the day before. We're trying. I don't know that we're going to. And I have this. So I don't know that I need to be. That's great if you're just day trading options and you want to take the risk. I'm not so sure that these guys lift on it. It depends. It depends on what the return on equity of the Capex is. I think you're better off understanding that Capex is going a heck of a lot higher and that those people are going to get into those names. Happy Tuesday. No, I think that there's a whole trade there. I actually mapped out the whole trade in the community this morning, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think these stocks are going a lot higher than people think they are, like a lot. And the amount, like, I think every one of these hyperscalers is going to be spending $100 billion a year for years. That's really where my head is with this. I think that that's the kind of money that they're going to be throwing at this. Not once, not like it's over next year, but I think they're going to be throwing it at it for years. And I don't think that's going to stop because the return on equity is going to be too great, at least in the beginning for a couple of years. And I don't think people get that yet. So as long as they're making it, they're going to keep doing it. I mean, what was Google's free cash flow for last year? What was it like? It's like 70 billion or something. Like, it's an absolute insane number that they made. And so for them to go out there and spend this, especially with the new big, beautiful bill and the fact that they can write it all off now, they can write it all off in 1 year versus 5. Like, it's just such a win-win because then they're not paying taxes on any of that money. They're just getting bigger and bigger, which we could all argue about. But do I think it's too late? No, I don't think people are even close to understanding it yet. I have no idea what this does. I'd be the wrong person to talk about with this name, buddy. Super thin. I wouldn't go near it. Like, I mean, this is the kind of crap I get stuck in. Because like someone sneezes and they sell 5,000 shares and you're down to $8. I mean, it could just be an absolute monster today. I don't know what the news is. I tend to look at what names like this have done in the past on earnings. So here's earnings, and we gapped up for 1 or 2 days and then went sideways for a month. This one gapped down and you went. I gapped up and went sideways for 3 months. Then I gapped up on great earnings and went sideways for 3 months. Then I gapped down and went sideways for 3 months. Then I have earnings and, say it with me, I'm gapping up. So, maybe this is it. You're going to have today off the open, right? And that's your day to shine. Like, it seems like that's it. Like, it seems like it opens and shines. And then that's it for like 3 months. So that's what it looks like anyway, buddy. So I don't know. I wouldn't be going nuts there, but you never know. Yep. Please hit the like button. Helps greatly with the algorithm. Morning from Phoenix. Well, I would think, and there I go again thinking, that after CNC, people would have gone absolutely crazy in these names. And instead, what they're doing is they're just rolling right back over. So I've been saying for some time, like, wake me at 180. And this is the value trap, man. I learned a long time ago, 187 is where I think you're going. I learned a long time ago, there's no reason for me to chase this stuff. Obviously, I haven't listened to these calls. I'm super behind. So they guided lower and they missed that by 10 cents. And God knows what the guidance was, probably like a, dumpster fire. But that's usually where my head is with this stuff. And people will say, but it's cheap. It's trading at X. You can't rely on anything that this company's telling you. Nothing. Like nothing. And even the CNC, when I look at that, I'm like, man, because I covered my short in this. I actually did well long it that day when they started speaking and using the words. Like, I started doing really well. But these things are in so much trouble. Like, I don't think people understand how bad healthcare can get, like these names can get. And you know what? We need a reform in healthcare. I don't think anyone looks at our healthcare system and goes, oh God, it's just absolutely amazing. It should be, the model for the world. I don't think anyone feels that way. It's a caste system, really. But I don't know. We don't have that kind of time to get into it. PLTR did it. They did do it. Yeah, it is. I actually bought it yesterday, and on the dip, and that was the trade. It doesn't matter. What happens with it? I don't know. It's going to go higher. It's going to be embedded in everything. It's our Skynet. Someday they'll have robots. I don't know. If there's news, maybe. I don't know, and I wouldn't know what the news is. I don't know why it would. I don't know. Why would it rip today? Did they do something? I mean, I can't imagine that earnings are going to make it rip, right? What's up, Jay? TTD, I haven't looked at, brother. Like, that's beautiful, isn't it? Like, that makes us so much sense. That makes us so much sense. But look at, like, here. Okay. Like, it's just straight out buying. Here's your little doji. And then they do the undercut, make you feel bad about yourself. Like, why did I buy that? I was so dumb. And then they undercut it, make you feel even dumber. And then they rip it and take it up. So You got a nice gap there, man. Mind the gap. It's there. I had a level there. I don't know why it didn't go off. I didn't beep, or it beeped and I ignored it. Like I ignore all the warning signs. But we'll say, what else you got here? You got a lot of issues there. I think you're going to break it. I think some of these things are really going to get hammered, like really hammered. Like that's going to go right through it like butter, dude. I'm just going to save you a lot of time in ag. You're going to crack like an egg, like a freaking egg. I hope you hold, but I don't think you have a shot in the world of holding. You're probably like the easiest trade out there is probably 3 months and buying the hundreds puts. Like I don't think you have a chance of holding. If you read, I think it was JP Morgan that came out with it. There was a really good report on JP Morgan that explained why it's not going to hold. So some of these names, you like, I'm a big believer of like the IPOs, like the IPO VWAPs. But when they start cracking like this, you need to pay attention. So long term, I think it's a good thing for him. Is what happened with NBO. I saw that. I actually think the trade is interesting. Where I think the money is made is probably just buying Norfolk outright and letting it turn into UNP and then just forgetting that you own UNP. But that's what I think anyway. What do I know? But I think you're better off doing that. I think you're just better off letting it turn into it. I just think they're rotating, dude. I think it's pretty obvious they rotated. And I would, my antenna always goes up when I see this. So it wasn't just drone stocks, Troy. Oh God, use your words. It wasn't just drone stocks. This is super important. So it was drone, it was stablecoin. Okay. So we started losing the themes yesterday, and uranium, like God forbid a company with zero revenue. I know I'm going to get yelled at in the room by Steven, but like, God forbid a company that has zero revenues goes down. They went after uranium. They went after stable coins. They went after drones. They just started locking in the themes yesterday. Really important concept. I'm glad you brought that up. Good morning from Japan. Good morning from Miami. FIX, I looked at yesterday. I really like the name. I'm probably not going to buy this name. This was just like too much for me looking at the volume. Like I don't like to get in and out of this, scared the heck out of me. I'm just being blunt. CDNS, this was a really good quarter. I'm watching this 362.24. This was a monster quarter. And also this company benefits from it, SNPS. There's so much going on out there. I couldn't even go through it all. But SNPS, like I can't even buy all the names that I want to buy. So I always tell people that you have to focus when this stuff starts to happen because you get overwhelmed. And then you have too many trades on, and diversification's death by diversification. Aloha. I don't know where that is, but aloha from Miami. We can't like really, I guess we're kind of bonding. You're kind of bonding with my neck, which is weird. It does. And then you had Knoll last night too. What time is it? I got 2 minutes and I got to jump because I'm super late. I'm way behind today, way behind. So that's Knoll and what they did. So Cleveland usually follows them to some extent. They all trade like one brain, like they have one brain. So sometimes that'll come in on it. And if it does, and they had great earnings. So it doesn't really make sense. Good morning from Jersey. Good morning from Miami. What's up, Steve? I think that STX long-term is an absolute freaking monster. I don't think people understand that they need the HDD and the SDD. Like, I don't think people understand why these names are moving. Like, it just, like, if you really connect the dots on, like, when you say that you're going to spend money on Capex, like, it's really, you need Western Digital, you need Seagate, you need Dell, you might need SMCI, right? But you definitely need Seagate and you definitely need Western Digital. Like you can't do AI and store everything you want to store without short-term and long-term memory. You just can't. I should write a whole research report on this shit. Excuse my language. Functioning on 3 hours of sleep. But you can't without it, Steve. So like you need it. So you have that. And then you need the hardware. So that's Dell. Really, it's just Dell, SMCI, but people got concerned about SMCI. So, but it's still Dell, but SMCI is there. And you need NVIDIA, right, for the computing power. And then you need the connectivity, which is AVGO. It's all this crap's connected, man. Like this is what understanding the themes is where you make your money. And then like if you can't get NVIDIA, what you're doing is you're juicing up your chip by buying AMD and then some kind of like Marvel thing you slap on it to kind of juice you up. And that's why Amazon, these other guys are trying to create their own chips because they can't get enough. That's why I always laugh when people look at NVIDIA and go, I missed it. I'm like, wake me at 10 trillion. So I think you're fine long-term, dude. That's just an opinion. Good morning, Journal. I think it's there. I think it's a short. Yeah, I actually think that it's so interesting because cores didn't drop because it had a 4-point differential between it. I think it's in a lot of trouble. I don't think people understand it, John. I think it's in a lot of trouble. They're not going to cut military contracts, but they're going to reevaluate where the money's going. It's going in the drones. There's no doubt. Well, like I don't really care about like the D pros of the world from anything except long term. Like if you want to build it, right? Like the LiDAR, same thing. Like they dumped 1 trillion shares out there. I would argue that Jeffrey, that RKLB is a little different because of the space that it's in, but you can come down to 33 in like minutes. And I think that's where you rebuild. Like, these guys need money. Like you're putting satellites in space. I'm lucky if I make coffee. So like it costs a lot of money. Like where's it coming from? Like you have to build it out, right? And that's the only way that they can build it out. Some are going to make it. Some are going to go to zero. Lulu's a pig. Who's buying $100 workout t-shirts? SRPT, I'm long through calls. So I did start shorting it last night against the calls because I have a ton of them. I was laughing. I thought you'd open up like way more than this. I'm surprised this is all where you're at. But this is your bar. This was your 1 minute bar. I really did not start shorting until like that opening and then breaking it. So, my cost is in like the low 20s here for the trade. And I have a bunch of the 15 calls. Like I bought a bunch yesterday at like 25 cents. I owned them before at $1. NVO is such a pig. Excuse my language today. But the SR, like would I buy this? I don't know. I mean, they were so cheap yesterday, those calls. So I bought it, I bought a ton of them. So I don't know that I'm even going to hold any. I might just like call it a day on it, quite frankly, and then reevaluate it. I'm surprised that you're not rallying. I don't know how somebody short sleeps at night in this thing. Like I really don't. And now the FDA is agreeing with SRPT and you're only up. I mean, I get it, 37%, but man, like that's all you're up on this news and FDA saying, yeah, it wasn't your fault. I know it's $6, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I don't like Lulu at all. I don't like the way it's acting. It's acting like garbage. And it should. Like who buys $100 t-shirts? Actually, Jeannie was telling me it's like big in Asia, apparently. They put them on and try to like pick up the ladies at the gym. SBET's a pig. Coin Circle. I'm actually short Circle. Coin earnings, but I don't think they're going to be that great. I think MP's a monster. And you know what? I was in this thing $20 lower here, and I'm like, maybe I'm late. And then it did this to me, and then I was sad. They're not covering their short position. I don't know what they're doing. I can't do all these. I like that very long term, but I like Spotify long term. Visa, I won't go near. UNH is a pig. I like Google. Good morning. When is it coming out? When's that IPO coming out? Anybody know? Tariff uncertainty is going away, bro. Yeah, I'll make sure we go over it, Lisa, beforehand before we open. I'm about ready to have there. Is that today? I'm trying to Microsoft I like, but you want to play that into it? Google long term looks great. Yeah, I agree with the SNPS on the CDNS. They move together, Len. Morning, Len. You're right. The way you're thinking, Steve, is right. I think it is. SRPT we covered. AMAT. It's the cheapest name in semis right now. Just do a debit spread, dude. Just do a debit spread on it. But it's worth it. It's probably going a lot lower. It's Figmas Thursday. I'm on a what do you call it system? I'm on a different system. I'll fix it, but before I start, I'm good. Thank you though. I'll fix it before I start. Sometimes I like looking at where I was beforehand. Do you know what I'm saying? All right, I got to jump. Trade to win, guys.